Hello. Hello. Welcome back. Good to see you, kids. I am so much enjoying this, and I hope that you are too. I've gotten some awesome feedback from some people saying that this is something that they're doing together as a family. That is so awesome. That's exactly what I want this to be, including your family. These are songs and artists that I want you to be aware of. Even if you don't like the song, that's totally fine. But for this, if we're talking about music, I think these are important pieces in the music history puzzle here of what has brought us to where we are now. So, quick shout out to the people that bought me this shirt. You know who you are. I love it. It fits like a glove. It says Hamilton. I love that show. You probably knew that already. So, thank you so much. I love it. So, quick results from yesterday's voting. What's Going On versus Brown Eyed Girl? Brown Eyed Girl by 79%. That's not even close. It's a catchy tune, isn't it? Love that song. And then Yesterday versus Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. 67% of you voted for Yesterday. 2/3 chose Yesterday. It's a good song, isn't it? Did the video make you a little bit uncomfortable with the girls freaking out about the Beatles? I was thinking as I was watching that, like, is there a famous person that would make you respond that way? I just don't think that there is for me. I was talking. I was like, Billy Joel, I love, but if you walked through this door right now, I don't think I would react that way. I'd be alarmed. I mean, it's 9:30 at night and we're supposed to be social distancing, but yeah. Anyways, and then Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol versus the middle. 65% chose Chasing Cars. I forgot how much I like that song. It was my senior year of college. A young lady who I was dating at the time bought me that CD. CD is a thing that used to play music, and I hated the rest of the album. I listened to that song over and over again. And then I married that girl, by the way. And then Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars versus Green Day's Boulevard of Broken Dreams. 59% chose Mr. Mars. Bruno is moving on. Sorry, Green Day. Better luck next year. So, that's that. Now, today, these songs that you're going to be listening to today are not as emotionally charged as yesterday's songs. There's one of them with a pretty powerful backstory. But the first, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin versus Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis Presley. The big songs. I could probably talk for a half an hour about Stairway to Heaven. Just one of those songs that it's such an iconic song. It's the studio recording's over 8 minutes long. And the version that I gave you to watch live is 10 minutes long. And if you're not familiar with this song, it's kind of in a way similar to Bohemian Rhapsody in that it's like very segmented. It seems like there's 3 different songs in it. It meshes a little bit more naturally than Bohemian Rhapsody does, I think. But if you can take the time to watch the 10-minute video, it's really cool because they do such a good job with slowly building the song, and by 7 minutes in, I feel like my heart rate is starting to rise, and the Jimmy Page solo kicks in, the guitar solo it usually places in the top 3 of greatest guitar solos of all time, and every time you hear it, it's a little bit different. Just super cool stuff. And we just don't hear that in today's music anymore. The songs don't have like instrumental breaks, which is unfortunate. I think with our attention span where it is, we got to keep the song to 3 minutes, and we don't have time to do a guitar solo in there, unfortunately, or piano solo. And the performance that you will be watching is from Live Aid. If you've seen Bohemian Rhapsody movie, the concert that they're at the end there, one of the most important concerts, I think, of the past 100 years, just for everything. And when you watch it, there's so many people there. Again, the coronavirus person to me right now is like thinking like that's a lot of people that are close to each other, but a really cool performance, and I think you like it. And side note, I was reading about how there are some people that think if you play the song backwards that it's a satanic message. a couple things about that. First of all, who's listening to backwards music? Who figured that out? It's a strange world we live in. But here's what the band says. Here's what Robert Plant of the band says about this theory. He says, "Who on earth would ever have thought of doing that? You've got to have a lot of time on your hands to even consider that people would do that." So, according to the band, it's totally made up. I believe him, but yeah, it's one of those weird urban legends that people talk about every time they talk about Stairway to Heaven. But don't let it take away from, oh, look at that. Oh, sad. A member of a band called Fountains of Wayne, 52 years old, died today of the coronavirus. It's very sad. Heartbreak Hotel. Sorry, weird transition there. Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis Presley. He had just signed with a new recording studio, RCA Records, and they were expecting more songs like he had been doing with the upbeat kind of shake your hips stuff, the Hound Dogs and Jailhouse Rocks. And instead, he came out with this gloomy kind of down-tempo song. Interesting, it was... the song was inspired by a magazine report of a suicide note that consisted solely of the line, "I walk a lonely street." I didn't know that. And the recording company founder said that this song is a morbid mess. And then it went on to become Elvis's first #1 hit and million-selling single. So worked out okay. And you're going to see, I put a little different kind of a video for this one. There's a lot of videos of him out there, going nuts and shaking his hips. I don't want to expose you to such filth, such inappropriate... I'm kidding. Isn't that weird that was inappropriate 50 years ago and now? Anyway. But, so this is more of an acoustic performance, and it's fun because he's laid back, and he actually restarts the song like twice. So one time he gets something stuck in his throat, and then he forgets the words to his own song. But I think that you'll see a different side of Elvis here. One of the reasons he was so famous is just he's so charismatic, such a lovable, take notice presence about him, and so you're not going to see girls screaming at him like you did the Beatles on this performance, but I think it's entertaining to see this side of him. So that's the first one. And then we're going to listen to two soul singers battle it out. James Brown and Sam Cooke. I Feel Good versus A Change Is Gonna Come. So James Brown, I Feel Good, or I Got You. He was called the godfather of soul and instrumental in soul and funk music. I'm not sure we would have the what's his name? Bruno Marses of the world today if it weren't for people like James Brown. And you're going to watch a performance of him on the Ed Sullivan Show, I believe it is, which was a big deal to be able to perform on. And he comes out and does his little dance thing. He's super energetic. He reminds me of like a chihuahua, like when the owner comes home and they're just like freaking out. He's just like so much movement from him when he performs. It's fun to watch. He's going to come out and sing a verse of Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. That's not the song we're voting on today. It's also one of his huge hits, though. But then you'll hear him go, "Wow, my feel good," na 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 na, that stuff. Yeah, and you'll just see what kind of performer he was. He passed away in 2006. But up until he passed away, he was continuing to run all over the stage, sweat like a maniac. But this is early James Brown you'll be seeing here. So, and then the last one, Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. This one's got a story behind it I really want you to know before you listen to it. 1963, Sam Cooke, an African-American singer during the Civil Rights Movement, one of the craziest times in our history. He heard a song that he was both inspired and disturbed by called "Blowin' in the Wind" by Bob Dylan. And he said this, he said, "Jeepers, a white boy writing a song like that?" And then his response to being inspired by that was writing A Change Is Gonna Come. Looking for the world to change, looking for some, let's come together and love each other type of stuff. And just like yesterday's Marvin Gaye song, you're going to hear some personal references in this. At one time in his life, he was arrested for showing up at a white person hotel, and you're going to hear some references to that in the third verse of the song. His 18-month-old son Vincent had drowned, and there's a reference to that, and he sings, "There's been times that I thought I couldn't last for long." So written during a very difficult time in his life. And then in 1964, he got this song recorded, and so it's recorded. It wasn't released yet, but it was recorded. And then Sam Cooke, in 1964, was fatally shot in Los Angeles at a motel for racially charged reasons. And then think about this: 2 weeks after he was killed, this song was released. And so this iconic figure in the civil rights movement is killed, and then his song about change and about social stuff comes out 2 weeks after he's killed. You can just imagine how powerful that must have been at the time, and how powerful it is today still when you listen to it. So again, this was kind of his farewell song and his anthem for the civil rights movement. So there's no live performances of this one either. So I gave you the original recording, and then I also put a version by who I think, opinion statement here, top 3 for sure, vocalists to come out of your generation. Jennifer Hudson, holy cow, she is so good. She's an African-American singer singing this song, which is powerful. And in this video, she's actually singing at a awards thing for Denzel Washington, an African-American actor who's very passionate about social justice and everything like that. And watching him just get emotional during the song, I got emotional. It's just it's a powerhouse singer and a great song. So those are your songs that you're voting on today. And then for songs from your generation, just real quick, this one I'm not sure you're familiar with. "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence. This was their first big hit. Made a lot of money. Versus "Royals" by Lordy? I think it's Lord. And then "Someone Like You" by Adele. Never mind now. I love that song. Versus "Let It Go." If we're talking about the most successful songs of your generation, we gotta "Let It Go" is on there for show. So in case you've never heard that song, you can click the link. Idina Menzel is the voice of that. She was the voice of Elphaba. She's played Elphaba in the original Wicked also, so she's good. So there you go. Happy listening. I hope that you enjoy what you're going to be listening to today, and I hope that you have a great weekend. And I love you, kids, and I hope that the people in your household, I hope you're giving them a little extra hugs and a little tighter hugs. Hope to see you soon.